What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest Live Show. What's up, Manny?
Cheers to all my dent techs who drink coffee. Coffee drinkers out there. Cheers.
We're going to get some royalties from Starbucks over there. So
I know, man. What's up, Brian? I'm doing good,
doing?
man. I'm doing good. Literally just got done with my last appointment 20 minutes ago. And, the funny thing is that I brought him in early so I could be done early. And we were done like on time. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to be set up, ready for the show 30 minutes before, But it's one of those clients that like, we're done. And he's just there, like, talking and, we're talking about the truck. And just like.
But that's a good customer because you know what he remembered? He remembered the conversation.
Yeah. I agree. So it was awesome. It was a good day. Just been busy, man. And we're a week away from MTE.
And I've got some bad news. I'm breaking the news, Manny. Breaking the news. Unfortunately, I'm not making it to MTE.
Wow, bro.
So there's a couple things. So we've got my guy Shane is no longer with the company. I have Mike that is going to be in California because he wanted to come see you, but you're going to be at MTE. He's going to be in LA. And then I have county inspectors, fire inspectors, and I'm trying to get my shop open the week after MTE. So feasibly, I just can't do it. Like I said to Ashley, I was like, I really want to go. I really want to see everybody. Free hugs. But the adult thing to do is stay home, get this thing going because we're so close. Like we're like really close.
Man,
it sucks. It just means you know what it's gonna mean though.
What's that?
You're gonna have to do a show from MTE.
All right, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
No, but I'm saying we're.
Oh, I could do it too. I could do it too. Yeah.
So I'll be live from MTE.
Yeah.
And then, all right, I'm done with that. So at least we'll have you through the show at MTE. But we're gonna miss you, man. That's a bummer. But
it sucks.
I get it. I get it. Business decisions. It's.
This is a major task. Like when I thought of this, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get this bigger shop, and we're gonna go through this, and bro, there's so much more involved, and COVID's not making it easy.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, it's like contractor's supposed to be there, and he's like, "Oh, my kid has COVID. I'm quarantined," or they just don't show. I've got a fire inspection coming up, and the sprinkler guy's like, "All right, I'll be back to put the caps on the sprinkler thing." They come in, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot the caps," and they just don't show back up. And I'm like, "What are we doing?" So It is what it is. I know this is the right decision in my heart to do the right thing, and it is what it is. So I'm going to miss you guys, and I'm upset about it because I've had a lot of people calling saying, "You're coming, right? You're coming. You are coming."
So I'm excited because I didn't make it to Orlando in, what was it, 2019, the last one?
Yeah, because your kid.
Yeah, 2019, because my daughter was being born, which, matter of fact, it's her birthday today. So shout outs to
Look at
Allison.
that. Happy birthday.
Shout outs to my 3-year-old Allison, who's not watching, but she'll hear me through the cell. But yeah.
Tomorrow, make sure you guys tune into the Dents and Dreams podcast. Doing a lot of I think I'm gonna be at the new shop because he's having it at 5:00, so I'm trying to make it work. But he is doing a lot, kind of talking about some new stuff and some tool manufacturers and some news and
talking about some new stuff, man.
I know there's somebody in here. Look at this. Mike from B&D. I'll tell you, that light looks something looks really good about it.
And I got to tell you guys, I just got it, so I haven't put a lot into test, but it's on. I definitely like a lot of stuff about it. So when you're ready, I'll bring it up here.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Chris, David, Crystal, James Bernard, everyone in the house, man. in Corpedior.
So how's business?
I'm telling you, busy. And,
yeah.
It's crazy because it's just like you're mentally prepared to take like that week off for like MTs. So just like, all right, I'm going to take care of all my appointments, all my clients. But sure enough, you got those 911s. It's like, oh, can you do it?
It's always the week that you're going away.
Yeah. Literally right now, too, I had a last client just like, okay, I need an estimate. Just like I tell them the estimate. All right, so can you do it right now? I was like, no, I could do it in 2 weeks from now. Like, oh, so it's just like you got to go through those conversations. But people are kind of like cool to know that you're not going to be available because you're going through some like industry expo, So,
yeah.
But it's
Don't
tough.
Rub it in.
It's that.
Don't rub it in.
It's that last minute rush that gets crazy, but I'm just humble and thankful, man. And because I've been busy, I'm kind of looking forward to some days off to rest. Hopefully my wife didn't hear, because wives. Oh, when do I get to rest?
Exactly. When you get home, the sheets are off the bed, and you're like, I'm just so tired. It's right to bed. She's like, nope, I'm washing the sheets. So, but
how are you?
I'm okay. Things are moving along. Like we're right there. Like I stayed like a little bit after work today. I mean, I still got like black paint on my hands and stuff. And Mike and I looked at each other and we're like,
let's see who has the most dirtiest.
Your hands are always dirty. I don't think your hands get clean.
I don't think my hands ever get cleaned.
But we both looked at each other and we were like, we're getting there, buddy. We're getting there. I did order my floor, so I'm excited about that. Nice. So that'll be in a couple days. So if any of you guys are bored before MTE, you're more than welcome to come in. I'll treat you to a nice dinner if you come help us lay some Swiss tracks, because it's a lot of Swiss tracks to lay. But it's getting there, man. It's been really good. And today, the coolest thing. Okay, this is the coolest thing. We're not in there. I've got just the front door stickers and logos on. I haven't got the big sign and all the stuff we're doing on the windows. And I'm pulling out because we have to go drop a car off. And I see some guy on the front door like this, looking inside. And I'm like, that's cool. We're not even open yet, so.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. Congratulations, Ryan. Shout out to Adam Jones.
And I've been telling you guys for 2 weeks, I'm going to give you a shop update. I'm sorry. I just get past myself and I'm like, it's like 6 o'clock and I'm like, I'm not doing this. So maybe tomorrow. Let's see. I'll tell you, tomorrow's supposed to be in the teens here. Trying to be like that Michigan weather.
If you're going to say you're going to do it tomorrow, it has to be done.
I haven't said it today.
This is going to be the second week.
This is the third week if I say it. But we're going to have to do it because I'm going to be live with John Vidine.
Oh, okay.
So
cool, man.
But I do want to bring up something while I have it right here to give some recognition because it needs it. Bro, I used this today on this Ford Ranger bedside underneath the taillight. Smashed hard. Paint wasn't broken. Couldn't get a lot of stuff to stick. This stuff, it took a very long time to dry because it's a slow drying.
Yeah.
I could almost not get it off the panel.
Yeah.
And it just kept pulling.
Yeah.
So shout out. This, I'm telling you, something's not right with this glue because it just sticks. Like, I was like, holy crap. So, but great job with the Solar Blitz.
I keep telling everyone, man, that stuff is just something else. And it's funny, doesn't it get you mad that it doesn't come off? You're like, come off already.
Yeah. I was using a bridge and just I'm like, this starting to get a little worried. Like something's going to break here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something's going to break.
Shout out
to I was supposed to meet up with Gene Fetty this week. He was in town doing one of my body shops. And it's a funny story. I walk in. It's a Caliber, and it's Caliber's like heavy hit shop here. And I go in, and the manager runs up, and we're friends, and he's like, Ryan, I got to tell you something. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, What's up? You know, everybody got COVID, or, you know, what do you got to tell me? You know, that's the new thing now. Like, oh, he's out. So anyway, he's like this. And I'm like, what? It's a whole fresh Kiko cart with everything on it. Right. And I was like, oh man, that's really nice. He's like, look, I'm not here. We're not taking your work from you. So I don't want you to get upset. We're not going to take your work. We just need to implement this because we're doing a lot of aluminum. And I said, Hendo, we're good. Like, the best part about you buying that cart is next year when you don't use it, I can get it 50% off.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel good or happy for the shop that they're implementing paintless dent repair into their process?
You know what else makes me happy? And this goes to Chris White and his team. We've seen him grow, right? We've seen Chris White's company grow from the little golf ball Kiko tabs to where they are now. And I've personally seen them step by step by step by step by step. And it's really cool to see shops and you look over and you see a cart and you're like, damn, like it's really, for me as in the industry, it's super cool. It's super humbling. You know, it's really nice to have companies like that grow and adapt to the industry and put the technology to it. It's just really, I don't know, it's a really good thing. They've done a fantastic job. And I was supposed to meet with Gene and time just wasn't working out. And I was like, bro, I got to bail. I'm sorry. I'm bailing on everybody this week. So I'm just going to keep it going. So.
And I agree with what Adam Jones is saying. All body shop doing aluminum should have that setup, like that Kiko setup.
Better repair.
I agree. 100%, Adams.
It is a better repair. Now, my only thing is, and Adam's been around, some of these older techs are not going to take it, absorb it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, man, I could be done this and grind this and be done in no time. You know, this glue. But I'm telling you, it's getting to that point where the insurance company is not going to cover your repair.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a mandatory thing. So it's coming.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Shout out to Francisco. I'll see you at MTE, baby. Oh, sorry, Ryan. Sorry.
Keep rubbing it in. So we got a special guest on here, and, you know, Nick, he's been a follower for a long time. We've talked quite a bit back and forth, and I was like, this guy, he needs to get on here. He's I think he's a little shy guy, but I don't know why. I was like, we're just going to be like, we're talking on the phone, just hanging out. It's just us three having cappuccinos and talking about Ryan not going to MT.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to hear his story.
So I got a special joke today from my daughter. So she is now into creating her own jokes. This is her new job. She's getting really, this kind of made me step back today. I was kind of shocked.
That's cool.
So, you know, you pull the card out of it, right? You pull the card out of it, and then she writes what the joke is. So we're going to do this without the guest because I want you to get this. Okay?
Oh, man. Anyone watching, please help me.
Why don't dinosaurs eat clowns? Why don't dinosaurs eat clowns? Anyone?
This is where I just think too much because I'm thinking like, wait a minute, clowns didn't exist when dinosaurs were here. So it's just like they couldn't.
How do you know? How do you know? Come on.
Why do they eat clowns? I don't know.
Because they taste funny. Look at that. She did really good, right? This one's going down in the books. This was a good one.
Woo! That was good.
So this is a good one.
That was good.
So let's get this guest on. We've been babbling for 15 minutes, you know, talking about me bailing on everybody and, you know, but let's get him on. What's up, Nicholas Prang from Prang Dent Removal? What's going on?
How you doing, Ryan? How you doing, Manny?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on today, and happy birthday to your daughter.
Oh, man, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what area in the world are you?
I am in Howell, Michigan.
Is it cold?
Michigan.
It's very cold. It's like
Yeah.
20 degrees today, and I think tomorrow is 10, and
Yeah.
the next day is like 6. So
See, nothing's different here. It's like you should just move here and you would feel right at home.
right. I'm thinking about going south if I'm moving.
That's most of the people anymore. Everybody's going to Texas or Florida. So,
Yeah, every year it becomes winter, I question why I still live here.
Oh my gosh. And it came out of nowhere from here. It was like a week and a half ago. It was 60 degrees. I'm wearing shorts. And then
Wow. Yeah, you guys got a big storm like last week too, didn't you?
it's every Sunday night and the Monday right now. Like they just keep popping in here.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
today
really haven't got anything.
They canceled schools today, almost for the whole state, and not a thing happened but some rain. So we're doing good over here.
Oh wow! So you born and raised in Michigan?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's so cool.
So how long have you been in the business? How did you learn, or how did you find out about paintless dent repair before you started? Look at that one.
So I've been in the auto body business for about 17, 18 years. Pretty much started right out of high school, and I started as a porter, and then slowly kind of worked up. And one of the managers in the office actually, one of the estimators in the office was actually put their 2 weeks in and was going back to work for the insurance company. And the manager at the time said, "Hey, do you want to learn how to write estimates and come up in the office?" And my first thought was like, no, not really. And he's like, "Well, you probably make more money." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll give it a shot." So pretty much started there. And then I would see the paintless dent repair guys come in and do the repairs, and I always thought it was cool. And then as being an estimator, I got to the point where I had to call them in to come fix the cars. And just, every time they came in, it was very interesting to me, and I liked it, and kind of didn't quite think about doing it myself then, but as the years went on, just more interest into it. Finally got to the point where bought some tools and thought it was easy, because you watch a guy come in and fix a dent pretty quickly, most of them, and I can do that. And yeah, it didn't work out that way.
It is crazy how many people in this industry followed the same steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you did. You're kind of seeing these guys, like, you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Like, even when I first started, it was like a total hidden dinosaur age of paintless dent repair. And you're like, man, that looks really cool. You watch them for a couple months and you're starting to figure them out. Now, when you bought the tools and you tried to start, you were like, I got this, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I got this. What happened?
Oh, yeah.
Please tell me you weren't trying to fix a customer's car.
No.
Okay.
I actually started on, I think it was my dad's car, or pretty sure it was my dad's car, but the first kit I bought was one of the glue kits. Perfect
Amazon
marketing
special?
by them.
Yeah.
It's probably before Amazon then, but it was like $120 or something, and in the video and the marketing, just glue a tab on there and pull it up, and bam, it's done. Wipe the glue off. I'm like, sweet, I got this, got it, put it on there. That dent didn't move a centimeter the first 5 times I tried pulling on it,
I love those IG glue pulling commercials, they make it seem so easy, just the way you explained it, Nick. It's just like, oh yeah, you got dents, buy this kit. They glue it on, they pull it, and bam, disappeared 100%.
Yep.
I was just like, wow. Totally.
Lucky I didn't put my 2 weeks in right after I bought the kit,
Yeah, you would have been in big trouble. Would have been a little hungry.
Right.
So you were still in the shop. You started buying kits, and you were messing around with that, just trying to learn it while you were still in the shop.
Yep. Yeah, I
Nice.
bought that kit, and thought I'd hit the ground running and take off from there, and tried it and
Oh,
failed
you hit the
miserably.
ground. You hit the ground for sure.
Oh yeah, bounced off the door probably, and that hurt the confidence a little bit. And I'm like, I don't
Now,
know about this.
was that the point that you started asking the paintless dent guy about stuff?
Probably, yeah. I would say I probably asked him like, "Hey man, did I get a bad kit or what's going on here? Because that thing didn't work at all, And I'm sure he probably laughed and
Mm.
just said, "Oh yeah,"
So what happened after that?
Actually, I kind of threw it in the corner and gave up in a sense, because that
Okay.
was just kind of the first kit, and then went back to estimating and doing that, and then I still had an interest in it big time, so I just kept watching the PDR guy when he came in and talked to him and kind of became friends with him, and it was probably a good year or two after that. I think I bought another tool and just kept trying a little bit, as the years went on, and took quite a while until I actually got really serious and bought a lot of tools and considered going and paying for training, getting
Around
trained.
what year was this, Nick?
When I actually got serious and bought more tools to do the training,
Yeah.
I would say probably mid 2014,
Okay.
15,
Okay.
and
Now,
sorry, go ahead.
where did you go for training? I'm sure you did research. You were looking around.
I did a lot. I almost went to Ding King because I think that one at that time they marketed really well, and that was always in front of your face, when you were searching for it online, and it seemed great, pay this much and go there, and hotel and training and tools, and so I looked into that, and I started asking questions, and got really fortunate that the guys I was talking to were kind of like, hey, pump the brakes, and I'm not saying Ding King is bad, but you want to kind of have someone show you a few things, practice for a while, and then go get some training if you think you need some training. And luckily they did that because that was really good advice, and that's kind of what they did is he showed me a few things, and I practiced for at least 3 or 4 months in my basement in the wintertime, just the few things that he showed me, just trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. What was the mental process of just pushing yourself to just go down to the basement and just like practice? Because I think that like it's easy to tell someone like, hey man, like you need to practice, but sometimes you telling your own self like, hey, I got to do this, like some people just don't have it, so what was the mental process to make you like go down to the basement and do what you got to do?
I think at that point, once I was, fully invested, and he showed me some things, and I was in the basement, in the wintertime after working all day long, I kind of had that fire that I wanted to get this and make it happen, so it kind of helped fuel me to go down there every night. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie, after you work all day and you're tired, or you just want to go hang out with your wife, or, do anything but that, but there was something inside. I built up that interest all those years, and I saw what it could be down the road if I learned this. So that's what kept me going down there.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it's mindset.
Awesome.
And I think I've said this in other shows, to where when you put your mind to anything, even a big dent, okay, even trying to learn paintless dent repair, really focusing in that mindset of, this is what I want to do. I don't care how long it takes. There's no pressure. Let's figure it out. You just figure out your feet, and you just get in there and you put the time in, you put the time in, you put the time in. I think that builds you as a stronger person when you do get on the road, when you do get on that starting your business and trying to grow. And the reason I say that is just because you know the ups and downs, you know what I mean? Already, you know, one day you were on it, fixing, not a problem. The next day you come in, you can't fix a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we're still dealing with that because yesterday I was about to call for help on some dents. You know, Mike is like, bro, you want me to call back up? You know, I just could not hit the center of anything. I was like, what is going on? Today I get a big smash and I'm like, nothing, you know? So it's that mindset of I'm going to figure this out no matter how long it takes me.
What do you think? What do you think challenged you the most learning PDR, Nick?
Kind of what Ryan just said is, you know, when you're practicing and you know, you're kind of figuring things out, and you know, you have a few bad days and you have a few good days, and you're like, I think I got the hang of this, and then you know, you go down there the next day and you're trying to fix a dent that you made in there, and you can't fix it, or you mess it up, and you're like, I feel like I had it yesterday, you know, and you don't, so you're like, what's going on? You know, that's the most frustrating part, you know, and then you're overthinking what you did, you know, and I think, you know, that kind of sets you back a little bit, but it's good in the long, you know, or at the end of the road, you know, it's good that you went through that.
Yeah. Is there any tools that stand out, like going through that process that maybe you got and you're like, oh man, like this tool just took me to a different level, or like
I mainly practice on hoods when I first started down there, and just kind of had like the S hook and the O-ring, and was using a long rod, you know, with a kind of BB tip, and was going to the open areas, and then kind of figured that out, you know, as much as I thought then. And then when I got the whale tail and figured out, you know, getting underneath the brace and finding that leverage and a little bit more control, and that was really cool to me, you know.
And that's the mind game too, of trying to find your tip when you're in there on the brace and you're trying to figure out, because you're like, boop, and it's like, you know, you're trying to just figure, or you jam the whale tail in there and you leave that big snail trail and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But it's this job is very mental, I believe.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. How about the training of the eyes? I always think that, you know, aside from like the feel, the pushing, I also believe that like our eyes, it's also, they need to be trained to see what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it took a solid 2 or 3 months for my eyes to fully adjust to the light, you know, and kind of see everything that the guy that was kind of giving me pointers was talking about. You know, when you first start and you're looking at it, you know, the light seems so bright and you're focusing so hard, your eyes are red, you know. By the end you're watering eyes, you know, because you're just focusing so bad. So it does take a while to get your eyes used to the light, or how you should be looking at the panel.
Yeah.
Now, I have friends, you know, we'll see some bright lights on something and I'm staring at it and they're like, bro, how are you? I'm like, I look into LED lights for 10 hours a day for 20 years. Like, your eyes adjust to that. You know what I mean? I mean, your eyes kind of, just like Manny said, you're physically training your eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get customers all the time. They're like, how do you even see what you need to do? You know, that thing is so bright. And I'm like, you know, it's nothing to me. It's just part of my day, you know.
It's when you look at them and say, I'm just guessing.
Right.
You know, get them all scared.
Right. Yep.
So were you self-taught the whole time, or did you actually go out and get training?
No, I actually went out and got training. So that guy showed me a few pointers. Then I practiced at home, and then I actually took 2 weeks vacation from work and rode around with him. And he worked for another guy. They mainly did used car lots, And it was, by that point, it was summertime after I kind of practiced all winter. So I took the 2 weeks, rode around with them to kind of get a feel of, what that part of the business was and if I'd even like it, to go further into it. So I was really grateful for that opportunity that I got to ride around with them and go lot to lot and kind of walk the lot, write up the cars, kind of learn the whole process of the wholesale part of it.
Yeah.
And then, so I did that for the 2-week part and learned that and then continued training. And I was hooked by then. I just loved the kind of working for yourself, driving shop to shop. You're kind of hanging out with the people at the stops and and fixing. I wasn't fixing too many of the dents, but getting on them a little bit and just kind of, it was fun to me, and I was hooked to that point. So after that, I trained at home again, just here and there, and then I eventually went and paid for one-on-one training with John Hiley.
Okay.
And did a week with him, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of dialed you in a little bit there.
Yep.
Now,
and I also had an opportunity for the body shop I worked at. The owner, if there was a hailstorm that happened, he had a guy that he would call in. If it was a large hailstorm and needed several guys, and he had a guy that, that was his go-to guy to call in. And the body shop owner, I told him at that point that, I was super interested in kind of one foot out the door. I was going to go into paintless dent repair full time at some point, and I wanted to get even more training. And he kind of called that guy and set it up, and I got to go down and work at a hailstorm with him.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
for
that's
a couple
priceless
months,
there.
and it absolutely was. And I thank the guy all the time, and still talk to him quite often, and actually just had him up this summer working for me because we had a pretty good sized hailstorm come through here kind of close by. So I kind of got to repay him in a sense,
cool.
So it was awesome to be able to do that.
That is so cool.
And you were well-rounded. You know what I mean? You kind of did the route thing. You worked with Hiley on some retail stuff. And then you had hail. You went and did a hailstorm. That's priceless. It's
absolutely
perfect.
How long do you think was your overall training that like you hustled? And
I would say it was probably over a 2-year period that I did all that.
That's crazy, Nick, because I always tell guys that are interested and want to learn to get into this industry, it's just like, you got to grind, hustle for at least 1 or 2 years, and they always look at me like, bro, I could get this down in like 3-5 months, like no big deal. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But no one like really gets it, that it takes time, man,
Yeah.
And I mean, look at you just grinding away for 2 years, you know what I mean? Just pursuing it, perseverance, just trying to go after something that you believe that you wanted to do, over 2 years. That's wild, man. Give it up for you for that,
Appreciate that. And
so you got back from that hailstorm, and what happened?
I was still working at the body shop at the time, and felt pretty confident, kind of, I still wasn't 100%, but I felt pretty good after that because by that point, I had a few people that had showed me the ropes, and at the hailstorm, what was cool too is there was, I think, 6 or 7 other techs at the time, and I kind of got to be around each one of them for, some of the days. So you learned, like, every one of us, all 3 of us on this episode could look at the same dent and fix it 3 different ways, but it all comes out right. So I got to see that firsthand when I was on the, the hail storm there. And that was priceless too, to just see, it can be done multiple ways. You really just have to, that's where that mental game comes in. You just have to think about it and do it.
Yeah, just like anything. I mean, like a lot of things, right? Like you watch everyone do it. It's not that you're going to copy them, but you're going to make your own way of working.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that's comfortable to you might not be to me, you know, and you might just kind of find something in the middle and it works.
And I think it's that problem solving skill. I think our job, you need good problem solving skills. Because imagine if you're in a door trying to get it with this tool and you just can't get it. Okay. So what tool do we have to grab? Okay, let's try this one. I can't get it. Okay, should we use glue? Cold glue? I think you need that. Okay, do we need to take the door off, or are we going to sit on the floor like Manny does and fix the bottom of the doors?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what do you think, Manny, on the problem solving? If you don't have good problem solving skills, you're going to struggle.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know, it's funny because I was just talking to a client about that today, that sometimes, you know, like I'll step back and same thing, just drink coffee and just look at the dent, just like, dude, I can't figure out this dent. Like, how am I going to do it? You know, and then it's just like, you just keep looking around, just like, how am I going to get this dent? You know, like, and then you just start looking at the different options, you know, start taking things apart, just like, oh, but I don't want to do that. You know, it's just like, you just have to process it, you know, and just figure it out.
Funny how, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's funny how some days it's so much easier to do that. You know, some days you're working on something and you're just like, okay, this isn't working, do this, you know, and then there's another day you're just kind of stuck in, maybe you come back to it the next day and then you fix it in no time and you're like, why didn't I do that yesterday?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
but it's also more funny when you're like, no, you know what? That thing's just not fixable. Call the client, tell them we couldn't do it. Then you jump on IG and then you see Bryce Kelly fix this massive thing. You're like, come on. I just told that client couldn't be done. And here's Bryce Kelly fixing a worse one that the one I tapped out on, you know? It's just like, and then you just start thinking, you know, problem solving even way after, you know? And I always tell guys too, it's just like, I remember I had this mental way of thinking when I first started that every single job I would hit, the number one question I would always ask myself is like, what could I have done better? You know, even if the dent came out 95%, client was happy, but me, I know, like, you know, I could have done more. It's like, what could I have done better? You know, and it's just like back to what we were just talking about, problem solving. You know, it's just like never stops. You know what I mean?
No.
And that is one of the coolest thing about this job. You know, this industry, that it's just like, man, he always keeps pushing us. You know, like.
I know how to fix that problem. I solved that problem. You know how to do it?
What's that?
The problem of, man, I could make that dent better. You know, I could do things better. You know how you do that? You hire a full-time body guy that work at your shop because that dude is looking from 30 foot away and say, I still see a crown there or a wave there. That's how you fix that problem because he makes you a better tech.
Yeah.
You know, so
an extra set of eyes will just.
Oh my gosh! Certainly, a guy with a skilled eye. You're like, dude. He's like, I can see it from here. I said, get back to your PPF. Just go over there and play in your corner. So,
absolutely.
You were still working at the body shop. How long did you do that, and when did you kind of figure out what you were going to do?
So at that point, still working as an estimator and doing some jobs. When I got back, the owner was like, all right, you know, you're trained, right? You know how to do everything. I'm like, whoa. You know, like I feel a little more confident, but you know, he's like, well, that's the only way you learn. Just get in there and do it. So he started, you know, he told all the shop I was at, because he was a multiple shop owner. So the shop I was at, he told all the estimators, he said, hey, you know, Nick feels more confident at doing PDR. Let's start selling some jobs, you know, and give the customers realistic expectations, and you know, we'll see how Nick does, and you know, if you can't fix it, then don't charge the customer, you know, and in worst case scenario, if he messes something up, we know somebody who can bump and paint it, you know, so that it was really cool. And it took the pressure off of me too.
That is
So
so awesome, man.
I just kind of got into it and started doing jobs, and, you know, some came out pretty good and some I really struggled on, and I did that for a while. Probably another 6 to 8 months, something like that.
What years was this by that?
By that point, I think we were 2016.
Nice.
Probably 2016, maybe early 2017.
Nice.
It's priceless, man. I mean, that's probably the best situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of guys, when they're learning or if they're out on the road, in your mind, you know, at least I do, if you're doing work at a body shop, you couldn't be at a better place to not be able to fix the dent.
Absolutely. Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they're already want the vehicle fixed. And if it's there, you can't fix it. So they're going to fix it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to fix them all.
Right.
But the pressure is lower. When you get to a customer's house and you're working on a big money car and you're struggling, you know, on a dent, the pressure's on. But that situation was probably the best learning curve you could have had. You know what I mean? He was no pressure, multiple shop. You already had the relationship and you just were allowed to go.
Yeah.
You know, I got to defend this because I bet you anything people are like, Nick just got lucky. Like, they just gave everything to Nick. But I bet that relationship was built out of like hard work that you put in for like them, right? Like,
yeah, I think so. You know, I definitely think I got lucky, but, you know, I think I kind of made my own luck in that situation too, is because, you know, I busted my ass as a estimator, and I managed a little bit for him. So I think he saw something inside of me and knew that, you know, I probably wouldn't just go there and waste my time and his time. And so, you know, it worked out kind of.
that's so cool. Nick, I got to give it to you, man, because I always say it, like, you got to work hard, man. Hard work always pays off.
It does.
No matter what your position is, just be the best that you could be, man. If you're a detailer, be the best detailer. If you're a porter, be the best porter. If you're an estimator, be the best estimator. You know what I mean?
And you know why?
That's going to build you up to something. You know what I mean?
Because you never know. You never know.
Right.
This is one thing I teach guys that are with me. At an account, the best person to know is the porter or the detailer.
Yeah.
Because
just like James saying, grind, baby.
You never
Grind.
know. You never know when he's going to go be the used car manager or be the, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing out of everything that Nick has told us, it's about relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
If he didn't have that relationship, the confidence wouldn't have been there. And his boss would have just blown him off. You know, he had that relationship. He believed in him.
Yeah.
And pushed him and let him grow. You know what I mean? So 6-7 months after that, what happened?
I kind of reached the point, you know, I was pretty confident, you know, that I could go out on my own kind of, and, you know, I maybe couldn't fix everything 100%, but I think I had enough to go on my own and figure the rest out, you know, as it went. And I was willing to do the hard work. And luckily with that owner, you know, he was super cool in every aspect of it. And when I originally went to that hailstorm, he said, you know, because he had multiple shops, that he always wanted to have a crew of guys that went and fixed the dents, paintless dent repair for all of his shops. And then the area he was in, there was a lot of car dealerships that didn't have body shops. So he did a lot of their work. So he's like, I know we can have all these used car lots in everything, all I got to do is say, hey, I got the guy, and they're all ours. So we had talked about a few different paths when I went to that. And he's like, I've always thought about having some guys do it. And from doing the estimating and managing before, he thought I might be a good candidate to, when I came back, to be kind of the lead of that team and get a few guys under me and go that route. Well, at the time, he was buying body shop after body shop and kind of just focusing all his energy in that. So once I was back from the training and was around for a while, we kind of talked back and forth a little bit, and kind of came to a point where he was like, if you're ready to go on your own, go on your own, and we're good, and that's kind of where it all ended right there. And I couldn't be more grateful.
How did you feel?
I'm at a point right now where, like, when you're watching a good show and season 1 just ends, and you're like, I can't wait to watch season 2. Right? That's where I'm at right now. You tell your wife, babe, we're staying up late tonight watching season 2.
Right.
Or I'll tell you funny, right before this, I was watching, me and my wife watch all those Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. We were watching one right before here, and I'm like, all right, we got 30 minutes. Let's get one episode, because the kid's up in the bath and we're watching, and we finished it, one of them, and I was like, I looked over the corner and I said, don't you cheat on me. Don't you cheat on me. So you started on your own, which I'm sure you were absolutely terrified, because you're like, can I make this happen? Granted, you can fix the dents and you had the support, but now here you go. Figure it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
So how were you feeling at that point?
Terrified. Exactly what you said. Because we had that final talk, and I think it was on a Friday, and I told him I think I'm ready to go on my own, and he kind of said, yeah, if you want to stick around here, you can, but I'm not exactly ready to kind of open up that paintless dent repair section of the business. So he's like, if you're ready to go, I can't really hold you here, but he's like, think about it over the weekend, and and let's talk on Monday and see what you want to do. So, I thought about it all weekend, slept maybe an hour or two, and went in there on Monday and told him, I think I'm going to give it a shot and, go on my own. And, I'll still do I'll give you 2 weeks, so you can fill my spot or kind of move some people from other stores or whatever you got to do. And he's like, no need to do that. He's like, go out there and get it.
Look at that.
I'm like,
look at that.
I was expecting putting in 2 weeks, and he's like, nope, you're good. Go ahead and go. I'm like, what?
Bless that guy, man. I'm telling you.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I'm very grateful for meeting him and working for him. And, it's kind of just one part of my success going down the road to, the PDR road, I guess you'd say.
It was meant to be.
I don't know why I'm getting watery, man. so happy about your story. Nah, it's, you know what I mean? Like, those are the stories that make us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got up Monday morning and said, what the hell am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. I think I had one job, so I went and did that, and I was done. I'm like, this is cool, and I'm done at 10, 11 o'clock, whatever it was. And I'm like, oh crap, like, it's Monday.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. What do I do now? And
did you have a plan?
A little bit, I already had the business name kind of already set up and business cards, and and then kind of started driving around and going into places and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, and here's my card. If I can be any of help to you, I'd love to help you out. And just got kind of no. And then some other people are like, well, how long have you been doing this for? And tell them, and okay, and they kind of thought about it and didn't jump right in. But then slowly after that, I got a few people that called and, hey, we'll give you your shot, come out here and do it. Kind of how it all started.
That is the most trying part of a new tech, and I believe this. And Josh Dragos is in here, and I see him every week, and I've talked to him at MT.
Shout out to Joe in the house.
And
Hey, Crystal.
The most trying part is you want to start a business. You've got this head. You're like, I can do this. I know I'm a good tech. You see other people's work, and you go into these accounts. Are like, no, I got the best guy. He's the best guy. No. Everywhere you go, no. And you go home and you're like, I remember this when I started this thing from nothing. And I remember going home and I look at my wife and I said, I think I made a mistake. She looks at me. My wife is a pit bull. And she looks at me and goes, you better figure it out. Because this is where we are, So, but I think at that point in your career, it's an experience. And you take every experience on how to deal with these people or how to break them down. Like my Honda account that I've had for, 7-8 years now. I went in that account every week for 2 years. Just went in just because I was a pain in his ass. And he finally broke in, and I've been in there ever since. But I think it's the mental part of breaking through that and keep knocking on the doors to get to work.
Yeah. That
helps you grow. At the end of the day, you walk in an account now, you have all the confidence in the world. Hey, here's my card. If you want to, let me fix, there's a dent right out here. Let me fix it for free. So you learn the tactics. But I think if you just, if we all just hit the road and it was easy street, I don't think we'd be as good as we are.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I have a question. Now, when you just, started just on your own and you realized you have to get your own clients now, did you have a plan of like, okay, I'm going to do like just retail. I'm going to focus on getting like some body shop accounts, or I'm going to just go into used car lots. Did you have a plan of what kind of clientele you wanted to build under your company, or what you wanted to focus on?
Yeah. So what I always wanted to kind of stay with the body shops and then do retail, because body shop was my background. I was an estimator and manager for 12 years before I fully went into it, and I developed a lot of relationships throughout that, which turned into a lot of my accounts today. Yeah. And even that body shop owner that I was working for that I left, he gave me the shot and said, you can still do all my shops when I left. So in a sense, I had some accounts, but the managers and stuff knew me as an estimator or an employee of that business, but not as a PDR guy. So it took a while for them to realize that I could do the work and do it right and kind of be their guy, and that it took a while. The first year was definitely rough, a little anxiety, just, you're grateful for every job and just kind of grinding for it, and it slowly worked out. And more people that I knew throughout my time in the body shop found out, like, hey, Nick fixed the dent over here. He did a good job, and, gave me a shot. And that's kind of just grown off of that.
That's awesome.
That is so cool, man. People always ask me like, oh, how come you don't have dealership accounts? I always tell them, it's like, with the body shop background that I have, like, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but like, we didn't really like the reconditioning companies that will service like the dealership, because we were trained to take a whole bumper apart, and overhaul, versus just R&I or setback or things like that, and so we always believed that we were the ones doing things right,
Yeah.
And so reconditioning guys, we don't like those guys,
Hacks,
yeah. So to me, it was just like, I kind of didn't want to go into like the dealership, I kind of just same thing, just wanted to stick with the body shops and retail. Is it kind of like how you felt too, or?
Yeah, for sure. I'm I'm pretty proud to say to this day, I haven't had a wholesale account at a dealership. It's been all body shops and customers. And when I was first doing that little bit of training, I liked the wholesale, kind of just flying into the lot, writing up the cars and zipping through them really. Cause they're letting you drill a hole and fix it really quick and cap it and boom, so that was pretty cool. But it was dealing with kind of the BS of the wholesale dealership accounts. And it's, to me, I'm not going to say I wouldn't take an account, but it'd have to be the right one, and a lot of them, unfortunately, you do that favor or you help someone out, they just take and they don't give. And it's frustrating, especially when you're trying to give them a discount, or, a quality repair and help them out. Cause every car salesman's, I'm buried in this car. Help me out.
Yeah,
exactly. That's all.
Hey guys, I do want to just mention this, all love and respect to all the wholesaler PDR techs out there. All the guys who do dealerships, our respects are to you. This is just Nick's story that we're listening to, and it's just, we're not here talking bad about dealer guys or wholesaler, because some of you guys are sensitive, man. And I don't want you to feel like,
for sure.
About dealership guys, like
some guys.
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not.
None of that. Yeah, it's none of that.
Talk bad on anybody. It's not my preference, and fortunately, having the body shop background, I have enough business that keeps me busy that I haven't had to go that route too. So I kind of, I'm definitely not trying to talk bad on anybody who does wholesale.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, do you think that the guys who are coming out of body shops, that the guys who are doing retail, do you think that is the new generation of PDR guys who are changing the industry? Because, PDR grew out of like dealerships, right? And PDR has always been known around dealerships, but I always feel like PDR is on a different level now,
For sure.
and I always wonder if it was because, the guys who now started coming out of body shops, or the guys who just grind differently away from the dealerships, that are changing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That I feel like it's kind of the path you want to go, like wholesale, you show up to the one account, and you have a bunch of cars there to fix.
Yeah.
And then you're on to the next one, and not everybody, but most guys have them kind of all in a certain area or kind of a route set up for each day. And they love that. And it's way more efficient, or what I do, the body shop and the retail customers. I mean, I burn a lot of time in the car and miles, and just like you said, Manny, I think PDR in a whole is switching to more of a retail presence, because the customer is more aware of what we're doing, and they see what can be done, and not have to be dropped off and left at a body shop or whatever for multiple days, and the tools and technology are there to do a good repair and right on the spot.
And I do think some of these guys, I mean, I have personal friends that work for a big company that love wholesale. They love it. I mean, I was talking to a guy a couple weeks ago, and he's like, he's like, how was your day? He's like, oh, it was great. He's like, I did like 17 or 18 today. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I did 3 cars today. Like, but he's been there a long time and has a routine. And some of these guys need structure and a routine. Like us, we don't really have a routine. You know, we're kind of, the body shop calls, you go fix it. Retail comes in the door, scheduled. The car doesn't show up. What do you do? That's our balancing act. They wake up every day. They know they have to go to these 5 dealers or 3 dealers. So some of the guys love it. Me, when I started, I looked at my wife. She's like, why don't you want to go to the dealers? And I said, can you imagine dealing with a used car manager every day? And she's like, Okay, I understand. You know,
It takes a certain personality,
does.
you know, and I give it up to some of the guys who just have that personality and they're able to deal with that, you know. So Nick, I mean, back to it. So you got on the grind and you started just passing on your cards, and you started to build yourself up, and like what happened then? Or,
Just kind of day in, day out, just trying to build it up. And, you know, it was a slow process. It didn't happen overnight, you know,
Yeah.
it was more about showing up on time, you know, and fixing the dent and trying the hardest. And, you know, even then, if I didn't get something 100%, you know, I kind of set the expectation before I worked on the dent, you know, of
Yeah.
what it was, and kind of, you know, under promise, over deliver type of thing,
Yeah.
you know, and that's kind of what helped me keep going and get accounts, you know,
Yeah.
and
because a
some of
lot
that
of,
from his estimating background. You know what I mean? He already knew how to negotiate with the customer,
Yeah.
set expectations of the customer before. So I think that's a skill that all of us have had. We've all worked in body shops.
Yeah.
That really makes the process easy
Yeah.
on that end, because you're setting that expectation before you start the dent. I can probably get it like 75, 80%. You come out 90%, you look like you're smelling roses, you
for
know.
sure.
So when you were going through, you know, where are you now with your business? Like, are you mainly more retail than body shop, or are you still growing that?
So COVID's really kind of disrupted it in a way. You know, when COVID first happened, I was nervous. I was like, I'm going to be sitting on my couch for a long time, or I'm going to be back in a body shop estimating. You know, I was worried. But then that, you know, the 2 week shutdown happened. And I'm like, okay, like kind of nervous, but I was kind of like, cool, I have some time to catch up on my paperwork and
Do other stuff. Yeah.
do other stuff and kind of get that going. And then and this is, you know, what was it, beginning of March or something, or that we got shut down.
Yeah.
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 You know, so it's January and February are usually pretty slow in Michigan. As soon as it snows and the salt's flying, people can't see the dents, don't wash their cars, or don't care, you know. So you're like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
usually crickets, and you know, we have the body shop stuff a little bit, you know, and some customers, but it's pretty slow. So yeah, it just, I thought it was going to be slow as can be. So I'm like, oh, just get my paperwork done and try not to worry about it. And then the phone just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And I'm like, you know, I'm kind of trying to do my part and stay home. And they're like, well, me and my wife's car's here and I just washed it. And, you know, there's a couple dents. You can come do it in the driveway. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll put you on a list. And when I get back to it, you know, we'll figure it out and do it. And the phone just kept ringing. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. And I think by the end of that 2 weeks, you know, 2 week shutdown or whatever, there's almost 30 customers that wanted stuff done.
Yeah.
And then we actually had a hailstorm too that happened right towards the tail end of that, up by Crystal and Dwayne Ellison up at CD Dents, right in their backyard. Massive storm in March, which is really odd for Michigan that time of year. And it was lights out from that point.
Wow. That's so cool, man. And so you do mobile, or do you have a shop? Because I see there's a sign back there, but I don't know if that's your shop, if that's your office at home, or.
That's my office at home.
Okay.
I have been searching for a shop. I
Nice.
just haven't been able to find something within the budget, you know, and in the area that I wanted in. So I'm 100% mobile right now.
Okay.
Hey, I got a really nice heated and air conditioned shop here that you would fit perfectly in.
There you go.
Might be a far drive.
Now, are you looking for a shop because you feel that that's where the industry is heading, or is it because of the weather down in Michigan that you feel that that's the way to go, or what's the reason behind looking for a shop?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. The weather for sure. The inefficiencies of being mobile. You can try and plan out your day or your week as much as you want, and I'm going to start here and work my way back and do this. And, you know, I service accounts for the normal dents and everything about an hour in every direction. And it never fails that I'm an hour west and somebody, you know, at the furthest point that I go to on the east side, you know, is calling you, you know, and then you have a retail in between that. So you're burning 2-3 hours a day in the car, you know, just trying to hustle to get places and do it. So, and I think PDR it's going that way, you know, is to more retail. And in my body shop background, having a shop might make it easier to have more insurance jobs coming that way.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That is so cool, man.
What is your mobile rig?
Right now it's a Ford Transit Connect, but I just bought a GMC Sierra, and I'm switching to that because I have kids, and the van is packed with tools, and I can't really put a partition in there with the seats to have the car seats. So I just I'm in the process of switching over to a truck with a cap, and I'm going to go that route. And we'll see what happens with the shop.
Nice. You know, how many kids? How many kids you have, Nick? I saw your IG that you had a few babies, but
yeah, we got 2. Yep.
Nice. Girl, boy, or
2 girls?
2 girls.
3 and one's 3 months. So.
Oh, look at that, Ryan. 2 and 2 here. You're missing, man. Missing out.
Slow
on
the move, man. Slow on the move. You know,
that is so cool.
Slow on the move.
You going to MTE, Nick?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, cool.
Everything's booked and
see, if it wasn't for Ryan, we could have been hanging out at, you know, that sounds like
right.
Nick, I'll see you there. Sorry, Ryan.
Makes sense. A little bummed, but you know, he's got to take care of that. Makes sense for sure.
It's all right.
One day.
Man, that is so cool.
You've been a follower for a long time, and we've talked several times, and you know, it's nice to watch you grow. And I appreciate the support, you know, supporting the show and personal support. And I'm glad we could get you on and get your story, because it was a good story.
Yeah, awesome story. I mean, you're putting me a tear, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on and doing the podcast. You know, I know it takes a lot of work on your guys' end, and just the knowledge from your guys' podcast and everybody else's in the industry, you know, that has helped a ton too.
Yeah.
With everything, you know, it's for every new guy out there, you have to be on every single one of these.
Yeah. You
know, and listen, and the knowledge you pick up, just little things here and there, you know, they can really help you out.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's funny because a few days ago, my wife was like, you know, it's my daughter's birthday today. It's like, oh, we're going to, you know, do a cake and sing her happy birthday. It's just like, are you really doing the show? I'm like,
you should have called me and said,
yeah, I'm going to do the show. But no, you know, no, but
family first, Manny.
I get it, you know, and we're still going to go and cut the cake and do all of that, you know, but I was just like, man, it's all I got, like my community, you know what I mean? Like the PDR community. And I just, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of people just like, oh, it doesn't take much to do a show and sit there for an hour and just talk, you know, it's just like, no, like I'm staying away from my family, man. Just, you know, be a part of this. And I love it. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, it's been fun.
A lot of people don't see that, but you know, it's you're right. It takes a lot to, you know, put the show together. So definitely appreciate that. Where do you see yourself 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Where does Prank Dent Repair, removal?
Hopefully in the shop.
Okay.
If not, you know, that'll be okay. But I kind of have some goals, you know, once I get into the shop to kind of expand and, you know, maybe try and scale a little bit, but really just depends, you know, like a lot of people have talked, you know, it's hard to scale in PDR. So, you know, being mobile, it's even harder, I think, to try and have employees and scale. And
yeah. And if there's one advice that you could give to someone who's trying to go into PDR, who's new into the PDR industry, I mean, if there's one advice you could give, what would that be?
Watch every one of these podcasts and talk to the guys that will talk to you.
Yeah.
And ask questions and, you know, and help them. You know, if there's any way you can help them, you know, if you're a detailer or a body guy, or, you know, they need something, just go up to them and say, hey, you know, you may take something apart or pull a car around for them, wash it, you know, do something to show them you're willing to help out, and you just don't want a handout or something, you know, because a lot of guys now I think are willing to share information, but there are some guys that'll hold back, and, you know, they think you're going to take their account, or, you know, sometimes it does happen. So, but you just got to be genuine with it, and you know. Yeah,
for sure. And just by the way, if anyone's watching, you could help us and vote for us to be the PDR. What are they calling it?
Golden Podcast
Award that you could vote if you just go to the MTE Mobile Tech Expo website. Just type in there, you know, Dent Digest Show, Ryan, Manny.
Ryan.
Really appreciate that.
Manny first.
Oh, no, Ryan, Manny, you know.
Well, Nick, how can people find you on social media?
At Praying Dent Removal on Instagram, and Praying Dent Removal on Facebook, and prayingdentremoval.com.
Nice.
Awesome. Bro, I really appreciate you coming on, man. That was a good story, because I didn't even know his story, so this was perfect.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. It was a blast, and Manny, hopefully I'll see you at MTE. And
yeah, man, we'll be hanging out, having a good time at MTE. You know, all of us in here that are going to MTE.
I had enough of him. He got muted.
He had
enough of him.
Well, maybe I'll see you at one of the future ones, or
that's it.
Swing by that shop of yours one day.
All right, brother. You have a great trip. Be safe.
Thanks, Nick, for sharing your story, and best wishes to you, brother. I'll see you at
thank
MTE.
you. Same to you guys.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Great story.
Great story, man.
It was a great story. We got one more thing we got to go over. Is I want to see that B&D light.
Ooh.
I know we got short time, but you know, nice hair, by the way. Okay. Bad part is it's got a Makita light on it, battery on it.
And it's probably not showing right because it's really bright. I don't know if I could fix this. Maybe let me turn on the lights. There we go. So, guys, exclusive. This is a new B&D light.
So how's the weight?
I mean, battery's on right now. I mean, it's decent. I wouldn't know until I put it on the cart, you know?
Yeah. I'm really excited to see the machining on the back of that, because Mike does a really good job with the machining.
Oh, yeah. That I would tell you that for sure, like, how it's made, like, you could tell, like, it's, you know, the machining, it's solid, you know? My favorite part about it, let me put the battery on.
Mike said, dim it down.
It's this. It's just the different color option. I love that.
That's cool.
And yes, you could dim it down. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I love, because you know how you're always have those cars that is just like it's a certain color that you just don't see it because there's so much light or something going on, and you're like, man, if I just had a little bit of blue on there, I could see it more.
I saw that, when I saw his little YouTube video come up, and I was like, God darn it, that's a great idea.
And, you know, even a little bit of red, it's just like, if I could just have a little bit of red on there, you know. There's a lot of guys that use different color lenses or, you know, or boards.
Let me see the backside of that thing. That's what gets me excited. When I was looking at that, I was like, okay. See, I like that. I love that machining part of it. And then the knobs move the lens back and forth, correct?
Yep, the knobs move the lens, which it's one of the big features about it, that if you're a line board guy, you could.
They can't fix dents anyway, so. I'm not in the Dent Olympics, so we're good. I'm not in the Dent Olympics.
Yeah, you can.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. So no, but if you're a line board guy and you know, you got lines now. You know what I mean? Especially the guys that are trying to do both. You know, that like transition to the fog or the line.
It's a great idea.
Oh, huge! I'm telling you, I think this is sick. The fact that you could put the different colors on there, definitely a game changer.
Now, I don't know if Mike's said anything. What is I don't know the retail price on that.
I don't know on it either, to tell you the truth. But I mean, honestly, tools are not cheap right now. You're not.
No, I mean the material is crazy. So I mean, I ordered the floor and they told me that the price went up 200%.
Yeah,
just in plastic, you know.
Absolutely. So do not try to look at some of these new tools and expect to be like real cheap prices, because
man, he did a nice job with that light.
Yeah.
Really did.
You know, the buttons are pretty cool too. They just go on and off. And then if you just hold it, it dims. Then the knobs, you know.
$700 full retail, $600 at the show.
There you go.
Damn, it's nice.
Yeah. I just got a hold of it today, so I have not been able to try it. Man, so far I can tell you that everything on it is just like, it's legit. It's
got the big suction cup.
Yep. I don't know. This is still like the old pumping. I don't know if they have the electric pump, but you know, nothing that we don't know about. You know, pumping and the good suction cup. Good thing is that it has the bigger size suction cup, so I feel like no matter what the weight is, it'll hold on pretty good. The other cool part is that you can use the Makita, the DeWalt, basically with the adapter.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that.
So, you know, you don't have to buy a whole different light just because you have a DeWalt or a different brand of battery.
And that'll take not Ryobi, Rigid. No, is it Ryobi? The green battery? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryobi. It'll take all of them, is what I saw in the video. So I thought that was a great idea. You know, making it as universal, because I feel like everybody has a bunch of different types of batteries.
Sorry, guys, my light's not set up.
I can show you guys. I really like that, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I think this is definitely something everyone's going to be watching at MTE. Yeah, nice, right? Sick.
It is. It really is. It's well built, man. It's.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From what I'm seeing, obviously, I'm seeing it from, you know.
And I guess this whole piece is just one piece of like plastic or whatever that plastic it's called, like really strong stuff. It's all just machine, and this piece too, I guess.
Yeah, he was saying it came out of a solid block of ABS. But like I said, the machining on the back gets me. You know, I like the hot rod stuff. I like that little touch of machining on the backside is badass. So shame I won't get to see it at MTE.
See, should have gone.
I know.
Hold on, let me put this aside here. Yeah. So I'm excited to see.
You're going to use that on the Dental Olympics.
No, I got, we got the secret weapons, man.
We got that cold glue this time, though. We got that cold glue ready.
Yes. And you know what else I'm taking, though, right? It's that pink glue, baby. You know that pink glue works. You know it works. And by the way, everyone that's going and competing, best wishes to you guys, man. It's going to be a great competition. The tag team competition is going to be really good. Also, the Dent Olympics. There's going to be a lot of good techs.
Yeah,
a lot of good techs, and I'm excited because I miss 2019 and 2020 was canceled, and so this is like the comeback.
2019 was fun.
Yeah. We'll be there. And then Dave O, he's just gonna try out, stepping up to play with the big bulls.
Has he been hanging out with Alex?
I don't know. He got influenced by Alex. He said, "Oh, if Alex could do it, let me do it." So, shout outs to Dave O. He's gonna need some hugs and some. Yeah, man, no, for real. Shout out to Dave O. He's definitely going to go out and compete. Oh, Mo is competing too.
Yeah.
There we go. So, yeah, man, definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a great competition.
Well, brother, I don't want to hold you any longer. You need to go home to your kid for her birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Allison, my 3-year-old. Thanks, Ryan, for having me.
You guys have a fantastic night. And enjoy MTE.
Hey, can you come back to the screen? Because
Huh?
I'm just watching myself here.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
What are we doing here? What do we got going on? So anyway, everybody enjoy. Have a great time at MTE. Yeah,
man. And then James just said the light's going to be at booth 408. So
yes.
Oh, I'm excited. I'll see everyone at MTE. Except Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. That will be at the show here. So, guys, everyone tune in next Thursday. If you're not at MTE, watch the show.
And you're going to have to step in for Podcast Row when you're not competing. So we're going to have to set that up because they're going live in the Podcast Row. So we'll set that up. We got this. I got this already planned.
Oh, man. All right.
So you guys have a fantastic night. Enjoy your evening. Wash your damn hands. And I'll see you guys at MTE 2023.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Don't forget, you can vote for us for, again, Ryan, can you tell us?
Golden Podcast Award.
Golden Podcast Award, baby.
Sleep tight, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep it real.
See you on the next one.
See you guys.